Hello and welcome to this video. Thanks for joining me. There is a big question that, it's been an ongoing debate for ages as to whether great leaders are born or made. So what makes a great leader? Are you born with leadership characteristics, or can you develop your skills, your capabilities, and become a great leader? Whatever your take, I believe strongly, and there is research, evidence to support this, that leadership comprises of learnable skills, which if you develop these and your competence, your confidence in these, you can become a successful leader. In this video, I present 20 according to research. I've done lots of research on many different criteria, and I've come up with these 20 top skills that can make you a successful leader. And as I said before, these are all learnable skills that you can train yourself, you can develop these, and then become effective, proficient in this. And then in the end, you can be a great leader. Now, the first leadership skill that I talk about in this video is having an understanding of your purpose as a leader. Why are you a leader in the first place? If you are in an organization, you are the manager, a director, a boss, why are you on the payroll? An understanding of why you are paid to do what you do. Even if it is a charitable position, you are not paid a voluntary position. Why have you been asked to serve in that capacity? And that is critical. In many cases, the reason you are there would be tied with the purpose, the overall purpose of the organization in which you are a leader. The inability to connect your purpose as a leader with the overall purpose is what is going to be a problem, because you might find yourself swimming against the tide of the organization as a whole. So the organization might be trying to go uphill and you might be moving downhill, and that is a disaster. So understanding your purpose in the first place is critical. Now, having understood your purpose, the second skill is to have a clear vision. So, moving from the purpose, you develop a vision for what you want to do to take your organization in the direction of its purpose, its major vision, its major goals. And that is very important. So, having some clarity, a clear understanding of where you want to go, where do you want to lead your organization or whatever group that you lead in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, for example. And that is also critical. Now, the third important skill for becoming a successful leader is the ability to communicate your vision and then to develop, active listening skills. We talked about how important vision is. Having an understanding of your vision, you should be able to communicate this to the people you lead and you work with. And it shouldn't be, communication is never a one-way street. It should be a two-way street. So great leaders and great communicators have the skill of not always talking, but also listening. And very good leaders sometimes, and in most cases, listen even more than they talk. So active listening, effective communication skills, very critical. The next important skill is to develop interpersonal skill. These are the soft skills that may not be taught in leadership school. You may have gone to business school, but they may not necessarily teach you how to relate to people. For example, in the workplace, on the shop floor. Great leaders do not always get stuck behind the big shiny glass and ivory doors, but they will come out and relate to their people in the restaurant. They are able to communicate, come down to the level of everyone that they work with and they lead. And that is very important. There are many leaders of big organizations who fail in this respect. They are not able to identify or act like the people that they work with. They don't look like in any way the people they lead. And that can be a really limiting factor to successful leadership. The next point is about how quick you are able to make decisions. So, effective and prompt decision making is critical to successful leadership. So, every time you are presented with the facts you need to make a decision, effective leaders will make a decision promptly. Another quality, the reverse of that, it has been said, is that great leaders not only make decisions promptly, given that they've got all the information they need, but they are also very reluctant to make that decision once they've made it. Because they've made a considered, a highly considered decision, they haven't made a flippant decision, so they would be reluctant to change it. Of course, if you know that the decision you made is wrong, then you need to be flexible and adaptable and then to change course. But if you know that this is right, great leaders would mostly stick to it until the logical conclusion or the logical outcomes that come from that. Another great skill that very successful leaders possess is an attitude of positivity. They are able to see the rainbow at the end of every cloud. They are able to see light at the end of even the longest tunnel, and they focus on those potential positive outcomes as against the negativity that might be going on around them. So they don't join when people are complaining, but they will always see that little glimmer of light and then cling onto it very firmly as hope. And they are able to communicate the way, the attitude and then the way we project ourselves is very infectious. So if a leader goes into the workplace all gloomy, probably from something that is happening at home, it infects and affects everybody around very quickly. So successful leaders would rather radiate positivity and affect people with that same sense of positivity. Another very important skill is having a learning mindset. So great leaders are learning all the time, and they are able to find, they can learn from literally everybody. They don't make themselves feel too big, all knowing, and then trying to teach people, educate people all the time. But they are humble enough to learn things. And if you assume that attitude, it's amazing what you can learn from other people. However young, however little you may deem them, you would always learn from anybody that you are open to learning from. Another very important skill is that they are able to identify and develop future talent. It is not so much just about succession plans and who will take over, but they have the mindset that people who come into contact with them would move on, leave that season better off than they started with. And they routinely would help people, give opportunities to new and young employees to help them to better themselves, to develop their skills. And that ultimately helps your organization as a whole to grow. The next important skill is that they are able to develop synergies. So they don't feel they know it all, or they are the be all and all in everything, but they are open to the contributions that others make. And they are able to collaborate, work collaboratively with others, understanding that others would also bring something on the board, onto the, whatever is being done, and then to help things to work out better. Another very important skill of great leaders is that of delegation. I just mentioned the capacity, the skill of developing, nurturing new and young talent. Great leaders, successful leaders are able to delegate their functions to others because they are in the habit of always developing people. They are confident that the people they've trained and given the skills to, the people they've equipped, can act and deputize for them when they are not there. So there is no feeling of indispensability that without them people cannot manage. But great leaders recognize that if they are not there today, and that is the reality, if you are a leader and for whatever reason you are not there, you can be replaced easily. So do yourself a favor, delegate to people, develop their skills, their capabilities, and then delegate to them when you need to, so that you can focus on the other skills that definitely need your time and your attention. Great leaders also are very good at performance management, and that would incorporate performance measurement. It is said that what gets measured gets done. So they are able to measure and understand where they are in terms of performance and what they need to do to go to the next step and then to go to that ultimate point of excellence that the vision or the plan to get to ultimately. So performance measurement, management is critical. And I've mentioned it incorporating performance measurement. And it is not just their performance alone, but the performance of the whole team. So having an understanding of where the organization or the team is at the present moment, what needs doing to take the team or the organization to the next stage of performance is critical. The next important skill that you need to develop if you want to be an effective leader, especially in the 21st century and beyond, is digital leadership skills. Now, technology is changing rapidly, and there are emerging ways, new ways of doing things coming every day. So, great effective leaders should have an understanding of the new ways of doing things, the new technologies available to them and then to their teams to undertake and carry out their functions in a better way. It doesn't mean that they should be absolutely literate and, in everything, AI, machine learning and everything, but a basic understanding of how these work and how these can impact and enhance their work is important. So, for example, I mentioned delegation. If you're a busy leader, you want to delegate, there are opportunities to, for example, have a virtual PA and all that. But if you don't understand basic technology, how can you do a meeting virtually and all, then it is not possible to access the opportunities that, for example, that virtual PA could bring to bear on your work. So understanding the new technologies, how they work, there would be some basic technologies that great leaders should develop their competencies in. And that is critical. So you don't have to be an absolute wizard in everything, but basic technology and digital skills, absolutely essential. The next skill that I talk about is adaptability and change management. Great leaders, successful leaders, are highly adaptable, very flexible, because they understand that in the changing world, the only constant is change. So we see change all the time. And great leaders are first able to manage the change so that the change process doesn't get out of hand. It is all managed and controlled. Secondly, they are able to adapt to the new realities that change presents. And these two are very crucial and critical to developing effective and excellent leadership skills. Now, the next skill I talk about, some people think that this probably is the greatest leadership skill, and that is empathy. So, strong, effective, successful leaders are highly empathetic. They are able to put themselves in the shoes of the people they lead. And this is very different from sympathy. Somebody illustrates it this way, that sympathy is like seeing a friend or a colleague in a pit and saying that I'm so sorry you are there, I hope you come out. But empathy is when you decide that you join the colleague, the person, the worker, whoever, in the pit, and then say that we're staying here together until we are able to get out together. So empathy is critical. Another very important key and skill that great leaders have is strategic thinking. So they are able to think about not just the here and now, but they are able to project into the future to perceive what is going to happen. I talked about the impacts of technology and the ever evolving, changing dynamics in the workplace, in the business place. Great, effective leaders are able to predict what is going to happen, and they are able to develop the plans that will take them, the processes that will take them from the here and now to the future that they perceive and they foresee happening. Another vital skill is team working, the ability to work with other people. And that is very important. So, effective, successful leaders realize their own contributions to the team. They also are able to appreciate the contributions of other members, the skills that other members have, and they are able to combine with these. So, very importantly, good leaders are keen team workers and team members. Another very important skill is time management. So being able to manage all the activities, the tasks that need to be undertaken within a given time. Time is finite. We cannot add up to it, but you can manage your own activities. So L. Nightingale says that there's nothing like time management, according to him, because time is finite. All that you can manage is the activities that you undertake, and then to make sure that they go or fit in to the finite time that you've got available. So that is critical, that you are able to manage, get your time planned out, every activity that needs doing, allocate times to them, and if it works on paper, then it can work in practice. Another very important skill is attention to detail. So great effective leaders are not all over the place, trying to do everything but achieving nothing, mistakes, here and there. It's all right, let's take it like that. But they pay attention to detail and ensure that every T is crossed, that every I is dotted, that things are as good, probably not perfect, but as good as they can be. Another very important skill that great leaders have is a sense of appreciation and gratitude. Gratitude and appreciation for the people that they lead, the people that they feel privileged. They feel it is an honor to have those people. They don't lord it or boss it over them, but they appreciate the contributions that everybody makes. They don't complain and criticize people all the time, but they find people, they catch people doing good, they show gratitude, because what gets appreciated gets done even better. When people find that the little things they get recognized and appreciated, they go out of their way. When you work with difficult children, for example, one thing that they appreciate is when when you catch them doing good and you acknowledge it. If you praise them, you will be amazed, and that applies not just difficult children, but everyone in the workplace, in the marketplace, in the school, everywhere. Finally, the last but not the least is a sense of humor. Great leaders would make light of certain things. They don't take things too seriously. I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't be serious if you want to be a successful leader, but sometimes you should see the lighter side of things. You should get the joke if people say something that is funny. So all these together, I'm not sure on a scale of 1 to 20 how you're going to rank these. I would love if you want to share your views as to which of these you think is the most important. But that is about all that time would allow for. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope that some of these resonated with you. As I said before, it will be great to hear your key takeaways as to which of these in the chat section. Let us hear your comments. So until same time, until another video, come your way with another video, please like and share this if you found it useful. Subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video. All the best. Thank you very much.